That classic pickup you've been eyeing? It might be the worst investment you'll ever make. I'm about to show you 20 classic pickups that everyone thinks are gold mines, but they're actually money pits that'll drain your wallet faster than a busted radiator. And before we dive in, here's something crazy. Only 0.5% of people watching this channel are actually subscribed. That tiny number helps me get monetized and keep making these videos for you. So if you find this helpful, hit that subscribe button. Here's what most people don't understand about classic pickups. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's valuable. While everyone's chasing after vintage trucks thinking they've found the next Barrett-Jackson winner, the harsh truth is that most of these so-called classics are losing value every single year. The classic car market isn't what it used to be. Back in the day, any old truck could become a collector's dream. But today's reality is completely different. We're dealing with changing buyer preferences, massive production numbers that flooded the market, and maintenance costs that'll make your head spin. The younger generation wants electric vehicles and modern convenience, not carburetors and manual transmissions. Let me break down the real economics here. A true collectible needs three things: rarity, desirability, and historical significance. Most of these trucks we're about to discuss were built by the thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. When Ford made 750,000 F-150s in a single year, you're not looking at a rare collectible. You're looking at basic transportation that happened to get old. The maintenance costs alone will kill your budget. We're talking about vehicles that need constant attention. Parts are expensive, mechanics who know how to work on them are rare, and every time you drive it, something else breaks. I've seen people spend $15,000 trying to restore a truck that's only worth $8,000 when it's done. Number 20. The 1973 to 1987 Chevrolet C10. Everyone thinks these square-body Chevys are the next big thing. Wrong. Chevrolet built over 3 million of these trucks during that 14-year run. When something's that common, it's not collectible. Sure, you'll find pristine examples selling for decent money, but your average C10 is worth less today than it was 5 years ago. The problem with these trucks is simple. They made too many. Every other person's grandfather had one sitting in the barn. Now everyone thinks they've got a gold mine, but the market is flooded. A decent driver-quality C10 that sold for $12,000 in 2019 is now struggling to hit $9,000. Number 19. The 1980 to 1996 Ford F-150. These might be America's best-selling truck, but that's exactly the problem. Ford sold millions of these things. The 8th generation F-150 was everywhere, from construction sites to suburban driveways. Today, clean examples are common, and common doesn't equal valuable. The market is saturated with these trucks. Everyone's dad had one, and now everyone's trying to sell dad's old truck. The values have been dropping steadily for 3 years straight. What used to be a $15,000 truck is now struggling to break $10,000. Number 18. The 1988 to 1998 Chevrolet Silverado. The GMT 400 platform was Chevy's answer to Ford's success, and they built them by the millions. These trucks suffer from the same problem as the F-150. They're everywhere. The market can't support the massive supply of available vehicles. Plus, these trucks have some serious reliability issues that collectors are finally waking up to. The 4L60E transmission is a known weak point, and the fuel injection systems from this era are problematic. Buyers are getting smarter and avoiding the headaches. Number 17. The 1967 to 1972 Ford F-100. This one might surprise you because everyone talks about these being valuable. But look at the actual sales data. Unless you've got a perfectly restored show truck, values have been sliding. The problem is that restoration costs have skyrocketed while demand has stayed flat. These trucks need everything: interior, paint, engine work, suspension. By the time you're done restoring one properly, you've spent $25,000 on a truck that's worth $18,000. The math doesn't work anymore. Number 16. The 1973 to 1980 Dodge D-Series. Dodge truck values have never been strong, and they're getting worse. These trucks have all the problems of their Ford and Chevy competitors, Plus, they're less desirable to begin with. The Slant 6 engine is bulletproof, but nobody cares about fuel economy in a classic truck. The styling hasn't aged well either. What looked tough and masculine in 1975 now looks dated and clunky next to the cleaner lines of the competition. Values have dropped 20% in the last 2 years alone. Number 15. The 1955 to 1959 Chevrolet Task Force. Everyone thinks these first-generation small-windowed Chevys are worth a fortune. Some are, but most aren't. The restored ones you see at car shows represent maybe 1% of what's actually out there. The other 99% are rusty project trucks that'll never be worth restoring. The problem with these trucks is rust. They rot from the inside out, and proper restoration costs more than the finished truck is worth. I've seen people spend $30,000 restoring a truck that sells for $22,000. Number 14. The 1967 to 1972 Chevrolet C10. The second-generation C10 falls into the same trap as its square-body successor. Too many were made, and the market is flooded. These trucks were workhorses, not collector items, and they're priced like workhorses today. The short bed, big block combinations that everyone wants are already expensive and holding their value. But the regular cab, long bed, small block trucks that make up 80% of the market are losing value fast. Number 13. The 1961 to 1966 Ford F-100. The styling on these trucks is polarizing. People either love the weird proportions or hate them. Unfortunately, more people hate them than love them, and that's killing values. The unibody construction also means rust is a death sentence for these trucks. Finding parts for the unibody F-100s is getting harder every year. The reproduction market focuses on the more popular 1953 to 1956 and 1967 to 1972 trucks, leaving these orphans out in the cold. Number 12. The 1957 to 1960 Ford F-100. These trucks sit in an awkward spot between the highly desirable 1953 to 1956 models and the popular 1961 to 1966 unibody trucks. They don't have the classic styling of the earlier trucks or the uniqueness of the later ones. The problem is identity. Collectors don't know what to make of these trucks. They're not early enough to be truly classic, but they're not late enough to be readily available with parts support. Values reflect this confusion. Number 11. The 1947 to 1953 Chevrolet Advanced Design. These are the trucks that started the classic truck movement, but that was 20 years ago. Today's buyers want different things. The advanced design trucks are slow, uncomfortable, and impractical by modern standards. Younger buyers especially are avoiding these trucks. They want something they can actually drive and enjoy, not a museum piece that needs constant attention. Values have been sliding for 5 years straight as the original buyer demographic ages out of the market. Number 10. The 1948 to 1952 Ford F-1. The F-1 suffers from the same problems as the advanced design Chevys. They were the foundation of the classic truck market, but that market has moved on. Today's buyers want trucks they can use, not just look at. The Ford Flathead V8 that powers most of these trucks is also becoming a liability. Parts are expensive, mechanics who understand them are rare, and reliability is questionable. Modern buyers want something they can depend on. Number 9. The 1960 to 1966 Chevrolet C10. This generation of Chevy truck gets overlooked because it doesn't have the iconic status of the 1955 to 1959 trucks or the popularity of the 1967 to 1972 models. They're stuck in the middle, and values reflect that awkward position. The styling is conservative to the point of being boring. There's nothing exciting about these trucks visually, and excitement drives collector car values. Without emotional appeal, they're just old trucks. Number 8. The 1973 to 1979 Ford F-100/F-150. Ford's sixth-generation trucks are reliable and practical, but boring. They lack the character of earlier trucks and the refinement of later ones. The market has figured this out, and values are dropping accordingly. These trucks also hit the market during the malaise era when emissions regulations strangled performance. The engines are weak, the styling is bland, and there's nothing special about them to drive collector interest. Number 7. The 1980 to 1986 Ford F-100/F-150. The 7th generation F-trucks represent Ford's attempt to modernize the pickup, but they ended up creating something that satisfies nobody. They're too modern to be classic and too old to be practical daily drivers. The fuel injection systems from this era are problematic, the computers are primitive and unreliable, and the styling hasn't aged well. These trucks are falling through the cracks as collectors focus on earlier models and daily drivers look for something newer. Number 6. The 1967 to 1987 International Scout. Scouts aren't technically pickups, but they compete in the same market space, and values are crashing. The problem is simple: they're unreliable, parts are impossible to find, and they rust like crazy. International's truck division went out of business for a reason. The 4-cylinder and small V8 engines are underpowered and problematic. The electrical systems are nightmarish. And good luck finding someone who knows how to work on one. Number 5. The 1968 to 1972 Chevrolet El Camino. The El Camino isn't a truck, but it competes with trucks in the classic market. The problem is that it doesn't know what it wants to be, car or truck. This identity crisis is killing values as buyers choose either classic muscle cars or classic trucks, not something in between. The unibody construction means rust issues are catastrophic. When the structure starts to go, the entire vehicle is worthless. And with production numbers in the hundreds of thousands, rarity isn't driving any premium. Number 4. The 1978 to 1987 GMC Caballero. If the El Camino doesn't know what it is, the Caballero is even more confused. It's the forgotten cousin that nobody remembers or wants. Values have been dropping for years, and there's no sign of a turnaround. The market for these vehicles is tiny and shrinking. The people who wanted them bought them years ago. Now we're left with a bunch of orphan vehicles that nobody knows how to value or maintain. Number 3. The 1982 to 1993 Chevrolet S10. The small truck market is dead for classics. These trucks were disposable when new, and they're still disposable today. The build quality was questionable, the performance was weak, and there's nothing special about them to drive collector interest. The few people who are interested in S10s are looking for pristine, low-mileage examples to modify. Regular driver quality trucks are worth almost nothing and dropping every year. Number 2. The 1983 to 1994 Ford Ranger. Rangers suffer from the same problems as the S10, but worse. Ford built millions of these things, and they're all still around because they refuse to die completely. The market is flooded with mediocre examples that nobody wants. The compact truck market peaked in the 1990s and has been declining ever since. Today's buyers want full-size trucks or nothing. There's no middle ground for small pickups in the classic market. Number 1. The 1987 to 1996 Dodge Dakota. The Dakota tops this list because it represents everything wrong with the classic truck market. It's not old enough to be truly classic, not rare enough to be collectible, and not good enough to be desirable. Values have been in free fall for 3 years. Dodge's reputation for poor build quality doesn't help. These trucks have transmission problems, electrical issues, and rust concerns that make them expensive to own. The market has figured this out, and prices reflect the reality. The harsh truth about classic pickups is that most of them aren't classics at all. They're just old trucks that happen to survive. True collector vehicles need to be special, and most of these trucks are anything but special. The market has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. Younger buyers want different things than the baby boomers who drove the classic truck boom. They want reliability, fuel efficiency, and modern convenience. Old trucks offer none of these things. If you're thinking about buying a classic pickup as an investment, don't. Buy it because you love it and want to drive it, not because you think it'll make you money. The days of easy profits in the classic truck market are over. The smart money is moving toward genuinely rare, historically significant vehicles, or toward modern classics that offer both nostalgia and usability. Everything else is just old iron that's getting older and less relevant every year. The collector market is brutal, and it doesn't care about your emotions or memories. It cares about rarity, desirability, and condition. Most of these trucks fail on all three counts, and their values reflect that harsh reality. Before you spend your hard-earned money on what you think is a classic, do your homework. Check recent sale prices, not asking prices. Look at trends over time, not just current listings. And remember that restoration costs have skyrocketed while many vehicle values have stagnated or declined. The classic truck market isn't dead, but it's definitely changing. The trucks that were golden 10 years ago might be lead today. Make sure you know the difference before you buy. Watch this next video where I show you the 10 classic pickups that are actually worth buying in 2025.